Imtiaz, let's begin the conversation with you. I mean, Pakistan has long been, has had to balance China as well as the United States. The question is, can it continue with this balancing act, or will the intensifying rivalry between these two superpowers force Islamabad to choose a side?
Well, thank you very much. First, I don't think there is much pressure or compulsion to steer to one side or drift to one side. I think until 2021, Pakistan had maintained an excellent balance in its relations with both China and the United States until the then Prime Minister Imran Khan started publicly saying that Pakistan's future was more tied to that of China. And perhaps this is what created the unease in Washington. And this was the year, 2021, October, when the CIA also went ahead with the creation of a China Mission Center. And the stated objective, as the then director explained, was to contain the expanding influence of China in the region. So until then it was, and at that moment, Pakistan's military then decided basically to take sides and steer the ship away a little from China. And this is what also created anger and unease in Beijing. But thereafter, I think right now, both countries are trying to re-engage primarily for two reasons. Pakistan is looking at China for business, cooperation, financial support. China is looking at Pakistan in geopolitical terms, because Pakistan is to China what India is to the United States in the region. That's why I think the disengagement from China, from Pakistan, is no option for Pakistan, I would say.
Imtiaz, I see that you're agreeing with what Joe had to say, but you actually, in your first answer, you were giving some references first to the transition or the pivot made by Prime Minister Imran Khan back in 2021. This also sort of coincides with the U.S.'s absence or withdrawal from Afghanistan. I mean, do you feel that this presents a security challenge in terms of China unwilling or not being able to fill this vacuum that's been created there?
Well, I think China is not bothered about filling the vacuum. China, what we believe, what we have seen, wants to engage with every country in the region out of the spirit of cooperation and under the Belt and Road Initiative. So that's not a concern for China. The concern for it is the security in Pakistan and Afghanistan. And I assume that Chinese are very pragmatic. They understand why they are facing these targeted security threats. They know this is a proxy war that primarily is targeting the Chinese interests in the region. And this is what connects and keeps Pakistan and China together. There have been some problems as far as the Chinese workers' security in Pakistan is concerned, but I think both are trying to brave that under continued consultation. But I think China remains very much interested in Pakistan as much as the United States remains invested and interested in India. It's about maintaining relationship. As our Chinese friend said, this is a sort of all-weather strategic relationship, which rules out disengagement, just because China, what we have seen under BRI is this push for economic connectivity rather than coercion under conditions to suit geopolitical wars. And we have to also keep in mind, we don't know yet how President Donald Trump will spell out his policy on the region. And I think what he has said a couple of days ago, that he wants to reach out to President Xi Jinping and President Vladimir Putin and urging them to basically cut down their defense expenditures. So this will be a huge shift if all three can sit together and redefine their engagement in the region. That will be perhaps much more in favor of peace in the region rather than confrontation, as we have seen until very recently.
Imtiaz Gul, what's your take? Yes, there are some hiccups in terms of security issues, but it's not enough to sort of derail the train.
Well, I don't think the train will be derailed. It's in mutual interest to keep it running. And I think regardless of how much both the interests of both China and Pakistan come under attack, as long as they can synergize their thoughts and actions, I think this expansion under the BRI, under CPAC, will continue regardless of what other countries may think about.
Imtiaz Gul, I want to sort of get your take in terms of what are some of the challenges moving forward and what the relationships with both sides are likely to look like in the next half decade.
I think it's the bigger challenge basically falls upon Pakistan's political and civilian leadership as to balance its relationship both with China and the United States, and also to set our own house in order. We played as a bridge between China and the United States. We remain inextricably linked with the interests of both countries because of being located in a position here. But I think Pakistani leadership will have to basically up its game when dealing with both China and the United States. And I think we are very well placed to play that role, but it would require a lot of vision, a lot of smartness as far as the Pakistani leadership is concerned. That's the biggest challenge, I would say.
Imtiaz Gul, thank you very much for all